Question number 15. Where Qadianis are spreading their seditions. Qadianis are spreading their seditions in various parts of the world, including Pakistan. However, most of their activities are focused on African countries and Germany, where they try to present themselves as Muslims and promote their beliefs. Question number 16. How many Qadianis are there in Pakistan and residing in other countries? According to the 2017 census in Pakistan, their population was around 207,688. In other countries, their population is in the hundreds of thousands. However, they continuously make exaggerated claims about their numbers, stating that they are in millions, which is nothing but a lie. Question number 17. Where are Qadianis? I have never come across any Qadiani in my entire life. Not encountering something does not mean it doesn't exist. There are many diseases that are not present in Pakistan, but that doesn't mean that those diseases don't exist. Similarly, there are many diseases that may not have affected anyone in your family, but that doesn't mean those diseases don't exist. So just because you haven't met a Qadiani or haven't come across one yet doesn't mean they don't exist or that the issue of Qadianiyat doesn't exist at all. Another point to consider is that how can you say that you have never met a Qadiani? Do you know how to identify Qadianis? What is their attire or behavior? If you don't know these things, how can you claim that you have never met one? If you don't know how to identify them, how can you say that you have never came across a Qadiani without having complete knowledge? Question number 18. I have never received any sort of preaching from a Qadiani in my life. We understand that preaching is only done through speech or words, but there are many ways to preach some idea or thought. The most effective type of preaching is done through actions, and the Qadianis use this method. They first establish a relationship with a Muslim not through words but through their actions and make a place in his or her heart. So that if any Muslim speaks against the Qadianis, this Muslim who has spent time with the Qadiani does not oppose that Qadiani but rather becomes his or her protector. The reason is that Qadianis never preach a Muslim through speech or words but rather by their actions. They use Muslims as a shield in order to hide behind them and to deceive them. Therefore, until you seek help from the experts on the subject of khatme nabuwat, you will not be able to decide whether a Qadiani has preached to you or not. So the question is, how do Qadianis preach people if they don't use speech or word? Then what method do they use? In order to understand all of this, it is necessary that those who are working in this field, who have experience of dealing with such matters, you have to stay in touch with them and to work for the belief of Khatme Nubuwwat, the finality of prophethood, with their consultation. Question number 19. Can we read the books of Qadianis? No, you should not read the books of Qadianis since we don't have extensive knowledge about Qadiani beliefs. There is a risk of getting misled if you read their literature. For example, at Karachi University, some students started debates with atheists despite not having sufficient knowledge about the topic, as a result of which they converted to atheism themselves. You can study the books written by individuals who are working on Khatme Nabuwat to enhance your knowledge about the true nature of Qadiani. Question number 20. What are the names of Qadiani books on the interpretation of the Quran and Hadith? The interpretation of Quran by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani is known as Tafsir-e-Kabir, and the interpretation by Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud is called Tafsir-e-Saghir. There are no standard books on Hadith composed by Qadianis. They have compiled their books by extracting material from the books written by Muslim scholars.